Hi again then guys, and so we've got another GranTurismo 6 top-end tune for you today, and this time it's for the cover car from GranTurismo 4, the Ford GT LM race car, and this is the Spec II version, the black and white model. So, you want racing soft tyres of course. For suspension we've got the ride height as low as possible at the back, 80mm higher at the front. You can put it a little bit higher if you want to improve top-end acceleration, but I've made this so that you can kind of still use it as a track tune on the Le Mans, for instance. Springs we've got on 1450 and 1775, dampers for 1 on compression, 3 on extension, anti-roll as low as possible with neutral camber and toe. For the gearbox, an auto setting of 230, then for the individual gears, 3.8, 2425, 1725, 1.3, 1025 and 850 with the final drive of 2.6. For the diff, the lowest initial torque of course, high acceleration and low braking. You want your full engine upgrades of course, and don't forget to give it an oil change, and your downforce set to the minimum. Traction control is obviously turned off as always. And this car has always been, to be honest, a little bit overrated in my opinion. I personally prefer the blue and orange Gulf liveried Ford GT LM because it's not quite so pretentious. It's not the cover car on the box. It's not made out to be this amazing thing. I understand why it was on the cover, because of course it's Kaz's favourite car, so he put it on the cover of the game, they made the special model, etc. But the fact is, it's just not that good. It's not a bad car, but this thing is almost 700 pp. That's almost prototype territory, and it's just not that competitive. This car cannot beat a Le Mans prototype, especially not at the 700 pp level. Now, as I said, I'm not saying it's a bad car. It's a good car in its own way. The Ford GT is a highly competitive racing machine, a highly competitive road car as well. This car has very good handling. And if you don't own it, I would actually recommend giving it a go. Although of the two, I would recommend going for the Gulf version, because the PP is slightly lower, which makes it a bit more competitive. This version, though, is a good car in its own way. The top speed's not quite as strong as you would expect from a Ford GT, even with the raised front end, which is kind of a shame, but it's also running significantly less power than many of the other GT class cars of the same level. Well under 1,000 horsepower, which again makes you wonder why the PP is so high. The top speed on this one is about 250, 251 cruising speed. You've got a pretty healthy amount of draft potential for when you need it. You can get it up to around 280, 290 with slipstream. If you do plan to use it on this track, which I doubt that many people do, but if you do need more draft potential, then obviously just extend the final drive a little bit more again. But for most tracks, this has got more than enough draft. It's got more than enough draft for, say, Route 7, or for the Le Mans, of course. It's got more than enough top speed and draft potential to go up against other GT cars, really. It's got good handling, strong acceleration, very decent amount of torque, and to be honest, it's a very easy car to drive. The Ford GT road car can be a little bit sketchy when it comes to handling on this track, but the race car handles perfectly, even with the raised front end. So like I said, I don't hate the car. It's certainly a good car in its own way. I just don't understand why the PP is so high and why they make such a big deal out of it. But if you decide to use this tune, obviously I hope you find it fun and of course competitive. And if you're new to the channel and found this interesting or helpful in general and would like to keep up with new tunes like this as soon as they come out, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and as always, thanks for watching.